Good evening, America. I am the Big Red One guy, reminding you that together we must break the machine. Battlefield expands as Trump takes lead in a New Hampshire poll. Former President Donald Trump leads incumbent Vice President Kamala Harris in New Hampshire, a state considered safely in her column a week ago. Amid signs that former President Donald Trump is slowly gaining momentum in the race for the White House, writes the New Hampshire Journal. A New Hampshire Journal Precchioni's analytical poll released Sunday night finds he's leading Vice President Kamala Harris in the Granite State. Don't know if I said that second name correctly. Don't give a shit. Trump's slim 50.2 to 49.8% lead is insignificant, well within the margin of error. The survey, it's actually very significant. I'll explain that later. The survey of 622 registered voters was taken between October 24th and 26th and also shows Republican Kelly Ayotte leading Democrat Joyce Craig in the race for the governor's mansion, 52 to 48%. The generic ballot shows Democrats with a slim preference of just 50.6 to 49.4%. One issue that appears to be galvanizing New Hampshire voters is the madness of allowing biological men to participate in women's sports. The state recently passed a law protecting women and girls from these godforsaken cheaters. The poll asked New Hampshire voters if they were more or less likely to vote for someone who supports allowing men to compete against girls. Only 15% said more likely, while 54% said it was less likely. The New Hampshire Journal's Michael Graham appeared on Mark Halperin's online show, The Morning Meeting, on Monday and said that prior to publishing the poll results, he had the pollster redo 100 of the 622 samples just to be sure the poll result turned out the same. It did. Last week, a poll showed Trump only down 3 in New Hampshire, 50 to 47%. Along with expanding the battlefield in New Hampshire, a very confident Trump campaign is looking at holding events and or moving resources into Virginia, New Mexico, and Minnesota. The last Republican to win in New Hampshire was George W. Bush in 2000. In 2016, Trump barely lost the state by about a third of a point. Bush was also the last Republican to win New Mexico in 2004. Currently, the Real Clear Politics average poll of New Mexico polls has Trump down by 7.7 points. Bush was the last Republican to win Virginia again in 2004. Currently, the RCP average poll of Virginia polls has Trump down by 6.4 points. Richard Nixon was the last Republican to win Minnesota in 1942. Currently, the RCP average poll of Minnesota polls has Trump down by 4.7 points. He has cut into that lead significantly. Okay. And, you know, we have to assume that they might be underpolling. We don't know. Okay. My assumption will always be that he's gonna lose the state. All right. That's what my assumption is. I'm not gonna go anywhere else with that. I'm gonna play in my head that he's still gonna lose the state. All right. If he picks off New Hampshire, that's what, 4 to 6 electoral votes. I'm not sure. Someone knows, drop it in the comments. Okay. But if he picks off Minnesota, if he manages to pick up Minnesota, that's Tim Walz's state. That's Harris's running mate state. All right. There's just a lot of crap going on around in the nation. People are fed up with shit. Okay. They're tired of the Nazi fatigue stuff that they keep fucking hitting everybody in the head with. They don't want to hear it anymore. Nobody wants to hear that bullshit. Okay. Nobody believes it. Or only the fucking crazy colored haired weirdos on the fucking left believe that crap. All right. Most people just don't give a shit anymore. What they want to see is more money in their pocket. They want to be able to provide food for their families. They want to give groceries to everybody in their family, which is food. I said that shit twice, like an idiot. But anyway, they want to be able to make their car payment, their mortgage, or pay their rent if they're what do you call it, renting. Right now everything is just terrible. All right, there aren't too many people on the right that you know are worrying about shit like abortion and everything like that. So what you need to know about New Hampshire is not New Hampshire is actually an independent state. They have more independents in New Hampshire than they have anywhere else. It's the two major parties don't make up the majority in that state. New Hampshire has always kind of done what it wants to do and has a history of doing what it wants to do. Let's hope that it does what it needs to do this time around and help get Donald Trump elected, because we need him. We need things to get fixed. And while you're at it, make sure New Hampshire you get together and you freaking vote in, a Republican governor, and you keep things going. You keep passing shit like not letting dudes fucking compete against women and everything like that in your state. Protect the girls, protect your daughters, your nieces, your cousins, and everything like that. Your mothers, from men going into their spaces and everything. So that's a good thing. So, like I said, New Hampshire does what it wants, when it wants, how it wants. They've always been like that. They're not going to change. That is just the nature of that state. They're a very independent state, and they swing on whatever they feel they need to swing on. And right now, it seems like Trump he's got a shot. I'm still going to chalk it up for Harris until I actually see it on election day. But you know, cutting into these leads in states like New Hampshire, Virginia, Minnesota, 4 point, like just under 5 points, and New Mexico, which had been a blue state for a very long time. So these are good things for the Trump campaign. I hope he spends some time over the next 9 days in these states and does something and see if we can get something done. Anyway, America, I'm Big Red One Guy signing out. And always remember that together we must break the machine. God bless you all. God bless America. And I'll see you in the next video, fam.